welcoming people, want to go to the weird shrine. We really want to maximum freak you out and psychological break you. You know, Glenn and Maggie is just like...
B-Path is sunflowers and
want
gardens.
to show you, we want to show you something cool in this boxcar. Slam!
They're clearly dumb enough to go down the B-Path.
Yeah, so these are B-Path material. Did they eat the food? Did they eat the plate? I think there's something to that, too. Because
they keep offering them food.
Yeah, like the hot plate is an intimate is very much part of their opening spiel, and they're confident enough to give these people their weapons back. I almost feel like there's maybe the plates, the hot plates, are laced with something.
Oh, okay, some
roofinol is what I'm going for.
Some roofies, okay,
yeah.
But yeah, the A path is there. Clearly, we see it. We don't ever see the B path, but we hear the screaming, which I think the B path is the people who are screaming.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the chamber.
There's a bunch of weird shit all over the place. There's slogans: "Never again," "Never trust," "We first always," which is basically this country's post 9/11 policy.
Okay. And when you combine it with the last episode's name, USA,
boom!
There you go.
Boom! Scott Gimple, surprisingly jingoistic analysis of The Walking Dead here. They have this spiral of names, of people's names, and some had ages listed, some have locations. Again, we see the A door. What else we want to talk about there? So it's candlelit like Beth's studio, and there's hundreds of candles, an improbable amount of candles.
Piano in the corner.
There's a guitar randomly. That's not even a joke. There's
no,
a
that's
guitar
serious.
On the floor. There's
what do you think happened in here? That's my only question about this. What does it look like to you? What happened in this room? Clearly, people were trapped for a very long time because how do they have time to write their names? Or is this some kind of memorial for the people that these Terminus people have killed?
Well, the never forget, never trust implies that something, because when Daryl asked him what the history of this place is, he's like, hey, this is, been around since almost the beginning.
Yeah.
And naturally formed by people following these tracks to the end point. I think that that's not a lie. I think that some traumatic thing happened to this group. Like, maybe they met a group like the governor, or maybe they had a massive thing of walkers, or maybe they let people in and they devolved into in squabbling and a bunch of bureaucratic, democratic bullshit.
Or they've lost a bunch of people,
Clearly.
a la Bob,
Yeah.
A couple of groups have died here.
So they've decided that, and maybe they were an open, welcoming community at the beginning, but at some point they decided to fuck all that and become like a funnel web spider or something like that, where they're just
the interesting
on people.
Thing, though, is, like you said, not all of the names have locations or ages under them.
Right.
So they clearly didn't know everybody super well. So I'm wondering if these are victims of the Terminus people.
No, I don't think there's anywhere near enough.
Okay, yeah, for 2 years worth of survival, I think more people probably would have died there.
Yeah. No, and again, the feel of this is a memorial to people they cared about.
With the
never
candles,
forget, never trust. We first, always.
Okay.
I think this is like, that like one of our deaths is worth 10 of anybody else's. That's kind of the vibe that I got from it anyway.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Obviously, don't know exactly what's going on here.
Sure.
But if you are looking at the very broad hints, it's pretty easy to see what is actually going on here.
Yeah. So then Gareth orders everybody into the train while they have them at gunpoint, and Rick makes sure that Carl goes with them, and they find Glenn's group inside.
And again, the same thing, real sense of dread here. If they killed Carl right as they left him in the courtyard, I mean, again, I didn't really believe they would, but there was a shadow of a doubt enough to make that really tense watching on the first one through.
God, bad episode for Carl if they did that. Attempted rape and murdered.
Out of the frying pan and into the fryer.
Jeez. And that's the final scene, man.
See,
Rick delivers an awesome...
Glenn and Maggie and Bob, Sasha, Tara, Abraham, everybody, Mullet Man, Rosita, walk out of the gloom.
Everybody but Carol, Tyrese, and Judith are back together at this point.
And I tell you
Beth,
what...
I guess.
I tell you what, I love the Andrew Lincoln's performance when Abraham is basically saying, well, we're all friends, but for however long that's going to last. And, Rick's just like, no. And then they have one last cut to, Ghost of Darabont talking to Scott Gimple saying, it can be like this all the time, Scott. You just got to hire better writers, get better directors. And then it smashes back to them being into the train car, and he's like, they're going to feel real stupid. Another weak point in the episode. This was such an awesome moment, but they either needed to expend their F-bomb allowance, they needed to cut back on all the birds flipped, and saved up for one muted F-bomb here, or at the least, they're screwing with the wrong goddamn people.
Yeah.
They gotta throw a GD in there.
They needed him to curse.
Stacy. They gotta throw in an F-bomb. They needed some punch.
I feel like the person that he has become would probably drop an F-bomb there.
It's funny because we had a phone call. We've been doing some Kickstarter for film, and now we actually got some time to do it, and we've been calling people.
Yeah.
As we're supposed to do at the end of the second half of the season when we Kickstarted the first half. So anyway, we're talking to Tia Marie, and she had a lot of really good questions. And one of the things she talked about is like what we thought or how the show would be different if it was on HBO.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, this would be it's and you can say this about almost every television. As good as Breaking Bad was, put it on HBO, it'd be better.
Well, that's the trouble of it is they can't go as real as I think real people get.
Yeah.
Real people curse all the time.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who curse far more than we do.
Yeah.
And I think we curse a fair amount.
Sure.
I think people in a zombie apocalypse would curse a lot.
I mean, again, it's like if Breaking Bad was like a 97%, it might have been 99% if it's on HBO, because swearing's not everything.
Sure, but I think it definitely adds, especially to scenes like this. It
adds in some things.
Yeah.
Although maybe it
takes away in some ways, too.
Yeah, because the way they dealt with the death of that kid, Drew, in a kind of roundabout fashion, made it a little bit more horrific because your imagination comes into play. And
yeah. But I think judicial use of it makes a lot more sense, and they just can't do that on
But
AMC.
This scene on HBO, if they're messing with the wrong fucking people, it would have brought that. I mean, it kind of did bring the house down, but it would have been a really crowning moment of badass.
Where do you put the F-bomb, though? That's the question. They fucking mess with the wrong people.
Or
They're fucking with the wrong people.
Done. That's it.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. They mess with the wrong people. Fuck.
Yeah.
doesn't quite have the same ring to it. All right. I really like, in this final scene, I want to talk about one last thing that I loved. The reaction shots from everybody. It takes a while, and the music builds. Ooh.
Yeah.
But they go to pretty much everybody aside from Abraham and his group. And they get the reaction shots on what is Rick about to say here. They'd be pretty stupid. They mess with the wrong people. They screwed with the wrong people. It's interesting to me that Abraham is immediately deferring to Rick because they show a close-up of Abraham. I don't know exactly why they do that. I think maybe because Glenn has kind of been the leader of their group, the de facto leader.
Why do you think Abraham's deferring? He made an observation, and then Rick said they're messing around with people. It's not like Abraham rolled over and pissed on himself.
No. But it's the shot of everyone just waiting. Is Rick going to say something here?
Oh. Okay.
Like Carl's waiting, Michonne's waiting, Glenn's waiting. Everybody, they show shots of everybody waiting.
I took that as Rick looking at everybody and seeing what a bunch of badasses he has here.
Okay,
that we as an audience are supposed to look at all these dangerous people, and every fucking one of them. Down to Maggie and Rosalita, and even Mullet. When he's called to spray bullets, can spray bullets.
All right, Eugene, you stand as far away from us as possible.
In fact, excuse me, Gareth, can we move Eugene to the B car, please? Every one of those people I can think of a memorable kill.
Yeah.
And a memorable.
You're absolutely right.
Especially and we're I think supposed to kind of realize that history and look at these people's grim, fell faces.
And that's a perfect way to end a season, right? Because it gives you the time to reflect on all the actions of these people before.
Yeah, I didn't take it as them hanging on his word. I took it as,
no, you're right.
Yeah, we're really seeing like what these people are made out of.
Yeah.
And how dangerous they are.
For sure. They've screwed with the wrong people.
Up at this point, you're thinking, oh my God, how are they going to get out of it? Now, you instantly pivot into...
I'm not locked in here with you.
Yeah,
you're locked in here with me.
Yes. Indeed. Had the Rorschach moment.
All right, well, that's it for the episode. Why don't we do some pimping and then get to people's feedback?
Okay. Well, of course, we are part of the Bald Move Network. We find all of our content at baldmove.com. And that's going to be super important because we got some news on the Game of Thrones feed, our front. We're actually going to be making some changes here. Mad Brew, unfortunately, is not joining us this season. Jim's going to step in to fill his shoes. But we do have a new feed. Well, it's not a new feed. We renamed it and changed the logo and did a bunch of stuff, and iTunes
dropped it.
Yeah, and right now we're kind of in limbo. But
just because we wanted to call ourselves the gods of tits and wine, yes. I don't understand why that's so offensive.
You can't put tit in a show description, apparently, iTunes.
I didn't know that.
So we're going to get that fixed, but I can't promise that, because I don't have any control. Ever since Jobs died, the whole place has gone to hell. He used to respond personally to us when we had a problem with our feed, took care of it. The man knew how to run a company. Don't know what's going on over there now, but I can't guarantee that the feed will not be fucked up. But we will have an instant cast out for Game of Thrones this Sunday within an hour, just like we do on Walking Dead. So that's exciting. We got a lot of other changes. We've been working this whole week on getting our new studio set up. We'll have probably some pictures and some videos soon of that. That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
What else? Mad Men.
Mad Men's coming back in 2 weeks.
10 days out on that.
Yeah, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. It'll be back.
It's going to be crazy. And also a little thing called Fargo.
We
which
won't,
we may or may not be covering.
Unfortunately, because of the schedule of Mad Men and Game of Thrones, we won't be doing an instant cast on Mad Men.
Yeah. We haven't figured out how to clone ourselves in space and time.
Not yet.
And as the governor said, it's the cast is either instant or it's not. So anyway, that's the latest skinny on that. Hey, check out our other affiliates. Their feeds are not fucked up. Personal Arrogance out of Seattle. This week they're talking about Facebook surprise taking over of the Oculus Rift. Some Indiana Jones news. The ladies out in L.A., the Because Show, have some Gwyneth Paltrow news.
Sure.
So I'm just going to skip this cast because I can't stand. She's my kryptonite.
It's a very small part of the cast if you don't like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, good. I'll just fast forward.
But they don't like Gwyneth Paltrow either. So.
Because I listen to some and I'm not sure.
Well, they think she's pretentious like everyone else does. Yeah.
I just hated her on an instinctual level
for,
for many, many years. It's one of those weird things. I don't know why. But I also talk about the latest Franken pastries, like the Cronut, and play a new game they call Friend or Foe. Up Yours Downstairs has shifted into Mr. Selfridge mode. So they're covering the latest Masterpiece Theater on that. Check them out. They're Tom and Kelly are awesome. We always appreciate your ratings and reviews on iTunes. Again, super critical thing that you guys do to help us out, grow our cast. Always appreciate you guys using the Amazon affiliate link at amazon.baldmove.com. And also check out subbable.com/baldmove. It's our latest way for you guys to help us pay the bills around here. And you can subscribe to the cast and bank the money you spend to trade in for cool rewards.
Sure.
That we're going to be making bigger and better. The podcast is always going to be free.
Yeah.
Take it, pay for it.
Our content is always going to be free.
It's always going to be free.
Yeah.
We're never going to charge.
No.
All we ask is if you can, do something, whether it's on the iTunes front or telling a friend or using the Amazon. We got a lot of ways you can help us out, but we do really appreciate those of you that do take that extra time to help us.
For sure. Also, Subbable is a really awesome way to get in our contests.
Yes, because all of our contests
we take them all
moving
from
forward are, and again, it's no purchase necessary. So that doesn't mean you have to give us money, but you do have to register and get an account. And you can still subscribe for free, which helps out somehow with the revenue sharing. I don't know exactly, but that helps out too. Having said all that, let's get right into feedback. Ed from Chicago says, I kind of like that nobody of the group got killed. I think it actually built the suspense to an all-time uncomfortable level, and that was amazing. We tricked ourselves into believing that someone would have to be invested, or we have to be invested in, would be killed. So whether a clever trick by the writers or just dumb luck, it ramped up the scene of Carl slowly walking to the train car as the most gut-wrenching moment of the show ever. But it didn't happen, and that was actually pretty cool that the writers had the balls not to give us what we expected. Totally agree. And we've talked about that with jump scares before, that the show used to be better at, now not so much, at, balancing jump scares that pay off versus ones that don't. So you never could get comfortable.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, and I think maybe they thought with Lizzie dying a couple episodes ago, they didn't need to kill off someone major. That episode was impactful enough.
Right on. Noelle, the captain, she says everything's better when the writing and directing is on point, but for me, one of the most enjoyable and refreshing upticks last night was in Chandler Riggs as Carl. His acting was top-notch, especially the look he gave his father of utter helplessness, longing, and a touch of anger right before Rick walked into the train car. Child acting on the show has come under fire before, and you guys have correctly pointed out that it's because the kids are given lines of dialogue that are way too heavy for them to take on, not to mention the inexperienced directing talent probably not helping. Well, last night, Chandler Riggs was able to work with material crafted for a kid his age, and it showed. Fucking A.
Yeah.
The very awful scene where he fought off his attacker could have been done poorly, but Michelle McLaren's directing talent helped to pull that scene off as tasteful yet extremely tense a moment as possible. Number 2, I was a huge fan of the flashbacks because they retconned an entire season's worth of mediocre prison content. Again, see what good writing and directing can do. The few minutes spent with Rick, Herschel, Carl, and the kid who started the infection, Patrick, vis-a-vis Daryl's crotch rot infected handshake, provided more characterization than an entire season's worth of poorly planned content. So that number 2 is kind of a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because,
like, you sucked before.
Well, I mean, I was saying that the whole time. It's like, why didn't we see this? Mm-hmm. And I get it that it's like, well, we're now showing you the theme and all that. But, I mean, clearly there was interesting things happening at the prison they could have showed us.
There's a beautiful analogy.
The prison disease outbreak, in my mind, wasn't the problem. Really
wasn't. I love the outbreak stuff. I loved it.
It went to a good place.
I thought it was great.
It gave Herschel a very appropriate send-off.
And there is a analogy here just begging to be made with the farming that we see at the very beginning. They're planting the seeds for this season-long arc of a theme. And at the end, we see them harvesting it. It makes perfect sense on multiple levels.
They're farming on the show.
They are.
Amanda G says, I think it's important for Carl to see his dad perform that crazy murder. He was getting a little bit big for his britches, and he needs to realize that he's still a kid. Rick's
he couldn't even reach the guy's neck. Come on.
And has a lot to learn. And Rick finally needed to assert his top dog status among the group. It was great to see. Was Beth on candle duty before she was relegated to the boxcar? That was an ass ton of candles that needed maintenance. I'm telling you, they were setting that's her standard concert setup.
I think so. So she was in that room moments before that.
Oh yeah, her guitar
playing
was there,
the guitar.
Maybe, yeah.
Yep, she was singing Doodlebug,
and that's what motivated them to spray paint on the wall. Never forget, never trust us first. Remember, it's like they're like, fuck these people. They said that she could sing.
She can sing. She's good. I know. We're making jokes.
We joke.
Yes.
Yardley H says, I still think that Beth is somewhere else entirely and not at Terminus at all, and it'll be interesting to see who in the group pays the ultimate price as a result of the Terminus folks screwing with the wrong people. The thing that made me laugh was Dan, the rapist, saying he'll kill Carl to Rick, then he drops his knife like people drop keys at the door in a horror flick. I just rolled my eyes. My only disappointing thing would be the lack of another cast member getting killed off, mainly because if they didn't trim the fat soon, the development of newer characters will probably suffer in the future. Kibble says he's a fan of the comics, then he needs to start subtracting some old faces. Fangirls and fanboys be damned. Oh yeah, Maggie still doesn't ask anyone about Beth when she sees Rick. Fair point, that last one.
Holy shit, she jumps around and makes a lot of good points there. She or he? Sorry, I didn't catch the name.
Yardley.
Okay,
I believe
both.
That is a she, although now I feel like that's super offensive.
I have no idea.
I don't see sex,
what gender.
Man. Everybody's just a genderless construct.
I have mirrors on my ceiling, so I have to see sex. It's a problem. No, I don't.
Yes, he does.
She makes a lot of good points. What is the first one that he or she makes? What is the first topic? Because I really like that.
The fact that Dan the rapist saying he'll kill Carl and then drops the knife.
No, that was not it.
Okay.
There was something else. Whatever. Let's move on to your point. What were you going to say in response to his or her email?
I'm going to allow Dan dropping the knife because he just witnessed Rick ripping out a man's throat.
Okay. Yeah, he's a little frightened.
So he thinks at this point, if the play is to kill Carl, he's going to, guaranteed
He's got to
throat
deal
rip.
with that man.
Yeah, he's got a MacGruber coming to him. Bare minimum.
Definitely.
If maybe he throws himself at Rick's mercy, he'll avoid it. Now, bad play.
Sure.
But I don't think he was talking his particular ass out of that pit, and he was just, I mean, think about if you were Dan, the rapist, okay?
Okay.
Let's leave the
This is
child rape. Let's leave that out of the equation.
Okay, so I'm just Dan.
You're just Dan. You think you're a badass. Mm-hmm. You horse around.
I'm pretty chubby. I'm looking at 300.
You're clearly the comic relief of this group.
Okay. All right.
You think you're a badass.
I'm not a bowman.
You're not a bowman. Some guy rips your leader's throat out, spits it at you in a spray of blood, and then starts advancing towards you with a knife. I don't know that everybody can just make that cool James Bond villain calculation there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he gave up at that point. So,
yeah,
dropping his knife and saying, hey, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Seems okay of a reaction.
What about trimming the fat of the characters? Do you think we need to kill off some more characters?
I think so. I think in season 5, fairly early on, we're going to need to see a couple of them die because they've all kind of matured to a point where we want to see them harvested, right?
Oh.
Like Herschel needs to come in and harvest some of this fruit because everybody is kind of on the same page. Like you said in the final scene, we're looking around at all the badasses.
I think it's not harvest of fruit. It's slitting the throats of the infected pigs. We can't get any more value.
Whatever
out of these
your
guys.
analogy,
Scott Gimple's going to be riding on the back of a truck. Just there goes Glenn riding on the back truck. Abraham, Rosalie,
Eugene finally snaps and just takes people
he gets
out.
to Carl. Still anyway. By the way, that's not spoilers. That was just me randomly rattling off people's names. I think get paranoid about this stuff.
I think they do need to trim some fat. I think there's some fat that now is ready to be trimmed.
I think it's offensive that you call human beings fat to be trimmed, but, that's you, Jim.
Not my words. Emailers' words.
Yardley. Carolina L says, Rick went from stray cat to Rick's brother to caged beast. Michonne was finally explained and in a way that completed Rick's arc from badass to crazy to badass. Rick himself has not only learned from Herschel, but from the walkers, deploying their lunge and bite technique and perfection in defense of Carl.
Sorry.
I brought that point up in Instant Cast that this is basically Rick's, learning from all his past enemies.
All of it. Yeah. It's really brilliant because not only has he learned from Herschel and learned from Shane, he's learned from the walkers themselves. And there has actually been a moment where they talked about that. I think it was maybe Michonne who said that. That the walkers have changed them as well. Like now, the walkers are part of what's keeping them alive, I think was a point somewhere back a couple episodes ago. I don't know. They've had to definitely adapt to this new scenario, and becoming a little bit like the walkers is part of that.
Clearly saved the day here.
Yep.
She says, continues. Wait, is this, what about Terminus? Friendly they are not. I noticed they're deliberately driving Rick and his crew along a trail marked A, leading to the cart marked A. This makes it reasonable to assume there's a trail B. But who is then in cart B? Is B for the weaker stock, right, for picking? It's for the Eugenes of the world, right?
If Eugene wasn't with Abraham, he would have been in path B.
It's for, Eugene. Dale would be in there.
Oh, yeah.
Dale would definitely be in there.
Lori would be in there.
Peggy L writes... what if the Terminus group is sacrificing people to walkers? It struck me they've lasted a long time, or at least they say they have, and while there are random zombies in the area, there aren't many to be seen around the gates of Terminus. Maybe it's not just the humans they're being funneled in, but walkers as well. Walkers that they're keeping fat and happy and maybe docile with a lifetime supply of people? What if they see feeding people to walkers as a kind of religious sacrifice that keeps them safe? There was a whiff of cult about these people.
Yeah, the
more
candles and the... Sure.
Obviously, this is just speculation. I do think they must have accepted a lot of people through the Terminus gates, but they don't seem to have a huge population of regulars there who need to be fed. Well, facts and evidence and all. It seems to be quite a surplus of people, and nobody loves to eat tasty people more than walkers.
That's true.
Think this is some kind of religious observance?
I think this is some kind of coffee theory. I don't know that there's anything necessarily on the screen to support it, but it is speculation at its finest. This is the kind of stuff I love.
Right on. Maxwell G said, during the utter destruction of the claimed group, it seemed that Badass Daryl was thrashed pretty convincingly at the outset. I would think that as acknowledged force to be reckoned with, that they, Joe's group, would have secured him in some way once he made his true allegiance known. Certainly he recovered and contributed at the end, but is this another indicator that DD isn't infallible or unbeatable? I don't recall seeing Daryl being really pummeled before other than by Merle. Yeah, he got jumped by a bunch of dudes.
Yeah,
and he was also kind of in self-sacrifice mode, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was right out in the middle, and he got attacked from behind.
He dropped his bow. You know, bowman without his bow, just a man.
Sure.
Just man ain't shit.
That's true.
His play of these are good people seem pretty weak too. No stratagems from Daryl. How about a little subterfuge to get a weapon to Rick? Like say offer to Joe to work Rick over for him to prove he's really part of the group and then getting close and pass him a knife. That's some solid rewrites here.
Sure.
I'd be for that.
Like you said, though, I think he's definitely thinking on his feet. Like he just saw, oh, God, this is Rick. I need to get out there and stop him from being shot in the head because there's a gun to him.
I'm just saying if Sonny the Robot could figure this out in iRobot with Will Smith, Daryl fucking Dixon could figure this out, you know?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I love just throwing out pop culture references that probably 10 people listening get.
No, I think,
they're like, I see what you did there.
I think 12 people saw
12,
iRobot.
Okay. Rick, so anyway, a little subterfuge. Rick and Michonne seemed to hesitate in acknowledging him. I got the sense they were waiting for him to try something. It might be a bit much to ask from Daryl, though he hasn't shown a devious, sly, or tricky side to his personality. That may be the one telling reason he will never be a leader in this world, and may not be long for it. Bum, bum, bum. The Terminus sequence also left me questioning the group's decisions. It was very smart to go off the tracks to approach Terminus and to cache weapons outside, allowing the entire group to enter after a mere minutes of observing the Terminites. Maybe if they had actually seen anyone doing anything normal, but smart after seeing nothing at a location that supposedly was a sanctuary for everyone for miles around. Nope. I think I would have kept an eye on them for a bit longer, then maybe entered with two of my group with a prearranged time interval to wait before the other half knew something was amiss.
Good point.
Once Rick's suspicions were aroused, wouldn't have made much better sense to make some excuse to get out peacefully other than start a hostage situation. That's two excellent rewrites.
Sure.
And I can't say that those aren't clearly better.
No, I think they are better, but pre-planning clearly not the forte of this group.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see it.
No rendezvous point.
It was good to see it.
At least they thought to scope it out first. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean,
you're expecting too much of this group.
I think that here's just, I don't think this is an excuse, but it's a reason. It would have been a poor cliffhanger
for them to see what was going on.
Like Rick and Carl surrender themselves and then tell Michonne and Daryl, hey, here's all these guns. If you don't see us come out and give the high sign within however long.
Yeah, this really says
then there's
how
bad
the fuck
shit.
are they going to get out of here?
Yeah.
They're all in a train car with no weapons.
Right.
That would not be as much of a cliffhanger, right?
Right. I don't know. I also feel like maybe, I don't know. It doesn't, because he didn't know that going in. But I also don't think that Rick felt very intimidated by these people and still isn't.
Yeah, apparently.
So, Dombrowski says, people have been saying for a long time how badass a character that Daryl is, and against zombie horde, maybe. But the show writers have left him completely underdeveloped in the area of violence against other survivors, and I've been disappointed at that, with the small exception of killing the tank driver. That immediate violence that Rick can bring to a tense situation of survivors is, in my opinion, the best part of the show. The zombies are a catalyst for standoffs there. Rick's and fuck you for trying explosion on Joe's group just replaced the end of Nebraska as my favorite scene of the series.
Okay. He's got a good point about Daryl not really being very violent to people at all. He can take out a mean walker, but
that might be another little brother status then.
Could be. I mean,
we know tougher acting than he is actually doing, unless when it comes to the walkers. Although he did kill a tank barehanded. Some of this might be a little much.
But I mean, that's just him being badass.
It's an inanimate object. It's like he had the G.I. Joe rules. He shot the tank, not the man in it.
Yeah, the man in it was an innocent bystander as far as he's concerned. He's expecting the
smoke to come out and the guy to bail out. He shot down a plane. Obviously, a parachute's going to pop out.
Sure.
J.J. Reinhold says, this episode we saw exactly what the group, and Rick especially, are willing to do to survive and keep each other safe. Rick really had a moment of temporary insanity where he gutted the fat man who was about to rape Carl. He had it coming, sure, but Rick went the extra mile and made the dudes suffer. This ended up scaring Carl, but I think in the long run he'll come around to respecting his dad more, in contrast to how we felt earlier this half season. I don't even know if it scared Carl. We still don't know exactly what's going on in his head.
Right? He's going JJ's going the opposite direction with kind of where I went with it, which was Carl is kind of more of a bad person or more of a gung-ho killer than his father is.
Right.
He's going the other way. Like, he was worried about Rick.
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean,
it's disturbing, Dad.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be throwing Shane in his dad's face anytime soon, though.
Oh, yeah. No, he might get gutted.
Boy, am I going to gut you? You know I'll do it. Lindsay from Oregon. I never felt more connected to the characters in the last scene than the last scene with them in the boxcar. I felt as though I was standing.
Cliffhanger.
No, my note thing.
Where was she standing?
Wigged out. I felt though I was standing among them and Rick was talking to me. This relatability has been missing from the series for a while now, mainly because the characters are often so irrational, frustrating, weak, and flat out stupid. It's great to finally relate to the characters once again. I was reminded why I liked the series in the first place. The episode also left me with tons of questions, as most finales do. What was up with the room with all those candles and people's names on the floor? There were tokens in front of the names. I saw a guitar in front of one name, a soccer ball in front of another, also one with a basketball. What do you guys think this means?
Well, we definitely talked about this.
In the zombie apocalypse, European football has surpassed American football in terms of the nation's heart, and that's what the true tragedy is.
Well, it's a combination of the three, really. You play guitar, you play soccer, and you play basketball all at the same time. It's a new apocalypse sport.
All right. You must be playing the guitar with your feet while also... never mind.
No,
I'm not going to follow that joke.
All right, fair enough.
I also note... but what do you... I mean, we kind of discussed that already as far as what the individual totems mean. I also noticed upon second viewing that when Rick and the gang run through Terminus past the pit with Bones, you hear the screaming and cries for help.
Yeah.
Actually, Lindsay prompted us to rewatch it again because we missed that on all of our watches. And I'll be damned, she's right.
Yep.
Do you think Beth could be in there, or even Carol or Tyrese, who were traveling to Terminus last we saw?
So it sounded like maybe Beth, right? That's who we both kind of thought maybe that might be. It was kind of a non-distinct voice. And for people who are looking for this and going to go rewatch the episode, it's not during the Bones part. It's right after it. Yeah.
They'll run past two boxcars stacked on top of each other. Rick does kind of this curious double take.
It could be either of them, honestly.
We listened. I didn't sound like Beth or Carol, honestly.
No? Okay.
Yeah, but who knows? We could be wrong.
Perfect
One more
strangers.
question. What was with the powdered milk outside the boxcar?
What?
I guess there were stacks of powdered milk outside the boxcar.
Oh, well, I mean, look at Gareth. He's clearly a powdered milk fan. I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. What if we go with the cult angle?
Okay.
That they spare like young children and babies, like a Judith.
Oh, because that way they can raise them as their own.
There's the only way they can trust them is if they bring them in and raise them as their own.
So what if they have captured Carol and Tyrese, and they are in B, and they have Judith now?
B is for baby.
Oh God, we figured it out.
Fuck, the code has been cracked.
Sorry, Gimple, you're gonna have to do something really inventive to fool us.
Seriously, though, that'd be a cool angle.
That would be a cool angle because you can indoctrinate a baby. It's much harder to indoctrinate someone who is immediately offended by you shooting at them.
Nathan P says the scene where Rick takes on his inner zombie and bites out Joe's neck was awesome for me. I guess this was what Lincoln meant by alternate melee weapons.
The bite?
Yeah. I
yeah.
guess his teeth is chompers.
We've never seen that before.
No.
You certainly wouldn't bite a walker.
My only gripe is I felt like this episode was kind of a mid-season finale instead of the end of the season. It seems that this season can be split between the first half finishing off season 3 due to the Mazera business, and this half starting a whole new plot. Aside from the Carol Lizzie plot, there was no real connection between the halves, which kind of sucks, but still the development was good in preparation for next season.
Oh, I disagree with that last statement that there was no connection. I think Rick is a huge connection between the two plots. Carl as well.
Well, hold on a second. I got 2 more sentences, and then you can just run with that, man.
I'm not going to rail on it too much, but okay.
Also, not rail, run.
All right.
We don't want to rail our listeners.
We just want to run on them.
We run with them.
Run with them.
Run with them. Or run against them. But you don't want to rail them. Christ, what is this? Some
Let
kind of barbaric terminus of a podcast? We're going to railroad them. You can railroad them.
Right to terminus.
You can railroad them.
Right into an A car.
Them. You can't rail them. Also, there was only one real meaningful death, R.I.P. Herschel, except for the governor, who we all wanted dead anyway, and the girls likewise. Okay. So, how is the Carol Lizzie plot tied in with Rick?
Well, the Carol Lizzie plot is tied over from, the walker feeding.
You're
during
saying
the infected
aside
stuff.
from I'm
I'm saying also Rick is a tie, Carl is a tie. I mean, all these seeds, no pun intended, have been planted in the first half of this season, and now we're reaping the benefits of it.
Yep.
I think
he needs
more than any other season they've done that this season.
Sure. I think they could stand to tighten up the narrative a little bit. Maybe this is what suffers from a 16 episode, 2 filming period thing, that it's just, something magic about the 13 episode season.
Why would you say they need to tighten up narrative?
Because
what didn't you like about it?
This was a long way to go for little water.
Okay. Well, their pump stopped working. Carol tried to fix it, but it didn't work out.
Season 3.
No, that was the first half of season 4, man.
Oh, you're right. The water plot.
During the
infection. Coffee Theory Epsilon. That's it. I got spoilers.
Okay, perfect.
And not a ton of them.
Well, take us out then, and we'll get to those.
If you would like to leave us more feedback. Oh, I forgot. We don't have an episode next week, but we will have a podcast because we're doing our characteristic season wrap-up.
I would not expect that on Tuesday. I would expect it Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, we're kind of a little bit loosey-goosey on that schedule. Stay tuned to baldmove.com or facebook.com/baldmove or Twitter @baldmove if you want to know the second that shit drops, because that's how we announce it.
Yep.
Or keep your ears peeled on our feeds. But I think I gave everything except for if you'd like to send an email, because that's basically the only thing we actually read on the show is emails. Do it at watchingdead@baldmove.com. We'd love to see what your overall thoughts are in the season. We've got some more things to talk about. And
absolutely.
Other than that,
we'll be back next week.
Yeah,
and then I'm really hyped for next season with the cliffhanger here, and we'll talk about that more next week for sure.
Yeah, again, I feel like we seem like we always end this in a hopeful note, but. Can if they can just tighten the screws down a little bit and get some better hands behind the cameras.
I think they've been turning those screws though. They've taken Mazera's wild off the rails train and they've diverted it back.
I just
you can't do that all at once, right?
Take 5% of what you made pimping the Amazing Spider-Man
or Hyundai,
and get a good writer's bullpen. And a good stable of directors.
I think they should obviously keep Scott Gimple writing because he's great from what we've seen. Angela Kang did a fantastic job this episode. There's a couple of writers that I know. You keep them in Walking Dead, I'm going to be happy.
Well, I think one thing I'm going to do as an experiment is go through and look at all the writer-director combos of this season and probably last season too.
Yeah.
And kind of give them a rating as far as their experience level, and then in a double-blind experiment, I'm going to ask you to rate the episodes.
Okay.
And then we'll see if there's a correlation between strength of writing, directing pair, and quality episode. I suggest, because I've looked at this a little bit for the first half of the season, I think there's a very clear correlation.
Okay.
But again, small sample size.
And I haven't looked at it, so...
It just makes good sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to spoilers. And
right.
If you don't want to care to join us there, hopefully you'll be back next week. If not... Game of Thrones, baby. Week after that, Mad Men. We got something that will rope you in.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
Game of Thrones, Mad Men, and the week after that, same week as Mad Men, Fargo.
Oh, really? Is it, I thought it was the week after. It's the 18th,
It's
I
the
believe.
13th and the 15th or 18th, yeah.
Okay.
So I count Sunday as a new week anyway.
All right.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week. And until then, I'm Jim.
And I'm Aaron. I, too, hold Sunday as the start of a new week. See ya.
And we're back with the spoiler section.
T. Mills says, I think that Rick and crew will take over Terminus and renovate. Under new leadership, Terminus will become Alexandria. All the survivors and rail cars will be citizens in the new community. Bam! T. Mills said our best hope for Season 5.
Yeah, that's optimistic after the gun shooting maze, right?
Why?
I don't feel like everybody's just going to get out of this scot-free.
You think...
I mean, now that we're in the spoiler section... Cannibal City. They're in fucking Cannibal City. I don't think people are going to get out of here easily as...
No one in Boxcar A is going to be eaten. Ate up. No way. I don't believe it.
You don't think that Maggie could have her leg eaten off?
I mean...
It would be kind of fitting considering the fate of her father with his leg. Or Beth. Or Beth could be in the Boxcar B. Shouting.
B for Beth.
B for Beth. B for babies. B for bullshit.
But Beth takes care of babies. So she'd logically be in the B car. She's beat up 3 different ways.
She would be. That's a bad sign. B for bad sign.
B for bad sign. My God. This is becoming so clear.
It is.
But no, I could dig that. And it also would save, AMC's fetish for saving money because they could reuse the set.
Sure.
And I still think there's a lot of juice there in the post-apocalyptic life making it happen, melon to squeeze.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're going to go with we need Farmer Rick and we need neck-biting Rick, then, Farmer Rick might have to chip in.
Although I still think that this show works better on the road.
It has this season, I think.
So
I mean, once they got out of the prison, I've enjoyed it quite a bit.
I don't know how to reconcile that versus them being stuck in one spot in one location. But
yeah.
Anyway, Jeff Finn says it's going to be interesting to see how our group gets out of this jam. I think it's safe to assume that Tyrese and Carol will help them from outside, but could Beth's captor be a hero too? I haven't read the comics, but listened to your spoiler section, so I'd love to hear what this could be from the comics.
The Archangel, Gabriel.
Nah, Gabriel ain't going to be the one. So here's
we're talking about maybe Gabriel being the one who picked up Beth.
It seems like this is another Kirkman remix, and
yeah,
we are getting the Hunter storyline told through the lens of this post-apocalyptic cult. Okay,
is Gareth a character in the Hunter storyline?
I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't read that far, names. So okay.
I don't think so. I think he seems like he's just got a plain old, dumb white guy name. Like Joe, for example.
Okay. And this
all
is not...
apologies to Joes out there.
Dumbass white guy name.
Right. I mean, it's my middle name, so.
All right. Well, fair enough. Did this happen anything like it happened in the comics as far as them getting trapped at a spot that was, led to as salvation and touted as salvation? No?
Like I said,
they weren't led there under false pretenses, and then
no, the hunters actually hunted people.
Okay, so they were out and about, hunting
like looking
groups
for
of people.
Weak ones to pick off and then take.
So this
back.
is a big remix thing.
It is, and
okay.
I'm still somewhat chagrined that they gave away such a tight little 3-episode arc. But I can't complain with what we got in the final episode. If that's the average level of quality for next year, I will be a happy camper. Finally,
yeah, and I like the nods that they give to the people who know that these were cannibals, with the bones, with the meat on the grill, and Mary out there up front. First thing you see is the meat on the grill.
I will say, if they want to introduce another badass character, although I think we're too loaded with badasses now. I think
maybe a little. Yeah.
Abraham and/or Daryl have to die, but there's the character of Jesus.
I don't know anything about him.
Like Tony Jaa.
Ja?
Ja, is that how he is? Ja?
Thai kickboxer guy.
Hey, if I can butcher Martinez, I'm
Right.
equal. I will butcher the people over there in Pan Asia. What would you call that? Pacific Asia?
Thailand? That's what I would call it because that's where he's from. I don't know.
Okay. I can,
the region, I don't
butcher,
know.
I can butcher Thai names with anyone.
Okay. Yes, you can.
Like Tony Jai butchers his foes. Just beat that name up with giant elephant bones.
Elbows and knees.
just mangle it. Wreck every major joint of that name. I'll put another syllable. It's Jai is his name.
Okay.
He is like this kind of like, I don't know. He looks like Jesus. Like if you took Jesus out of
a long hair, skinny white guy.
Yeah. And you throw a wool knit cap on him, give him insane like parkour and jiu-jitsu skills.
Perfect.
That's who you got. It seems like it should be a load of horse shit.
It sounds really, really bad, yeah.
But it really is cool by the time you get there.
Do they approach it subtly, or do they just go balls to the wall and it's just too cool to resist?
He is like... I mean, I guess he's like the comic form of Daryl Dixon.
Is he a character?
He's like Batman. He's so physically skilled against, and by this point in the series, one of the plot lines is there's very little ammunition left.
Okay.
So people are going back to like spears and knives and shit like that, and he's just fucking wrecking these guys. It's literally like something out of the Batman video game. He drops them through the ring of them and just wrecks them.
I was going to make a comparison to like, could you see him in a Dawn to Dusk movie?
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Quentin Tarantino production.
Yeah, he's very pulpy.
Okay.
But I mean, it gets pretty fucking pulpy.
I'm a little worried about that because the tone this show has tried to strike, it's been very dramatic and very serious in a lot of areas.
Yeah,
to go full pulp might be a bad move for this show now at this point.
And where they tend to have problems in Lost in Translation is translating that because the governor is very pulpy and they fucked that up.
You're right about that. Although I think they've handled Michonne really, really well, and she has the potential to be very pulpy.
Certainly. She's actually already a better... her character in the comic book is good. She's already a better character than, 100 episodes into the comic.
All right. So not the same Jesus that we see in The Big Lebowski.
Not of Nazareth, no.
Okay, or that one, yeah.
Let's see. I hope I gave you enough juice to work with there, Jeff. Nathan P. says, I can see the Hunters plotline being altered for next season to incorporate Terminus. These Hunters would rely more on the trusting nature of others rather than being super sneaky. They seem to have a near cult-like group, which leads them to the idea that they only kill people rather than trust anyone. To me, it looks like Tyrese and Carol are the most likely candidates to go. Tyrese may die as a sacrifice to save everyone, probably in the same way as Dale, and I can see Carol dying in a similar fashion to Lori in the comics, i.e. running with Judith. Beth's fate is still ambiguous, so she could be already captured by the group, her trusting fashion, or may prove herself a true survivor and roll in to save everyone. Still haven't heard a better theory than Beth being hit by a car.
Yeah.
And this is all a big misunderstanding. She's off in a medical coma somewhere, and if Rick does take over and tear up, Terminus from the floor up and renovate that sucker... I could see Beth coming back just because people are going to naturally follow Terminus.
Sure. I think with all the signs out there, yeah. He has a good point about Tyrese and Carol being likely to go. I think their story, to a large degree, has come to an end. I mean, Carol has taken this really dark path in a lot of ways, but also become much, much stronger. But her resolution with Tyrese in the Grove... Now, where does that leave her? Her and Daryl are really the only thing, like, is that going to happen? Is that not going to happen? That's the only thing that interests me, I guess, about her at this point.
Yeah, and I think we alluded to this during the whole Lizzie Chronicles. Yeah. We haven't really seen anyone in our group truly become insane.
Rick has dabbled.
He's played with insanity, but, to see someone just reach that turning point where...
Well, Lizzie never reached it because she was already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So, what if Carol snaps? That her line between saving people and killing people, you know, goes the other way, and she becomes kind of like not an evil character, but just
a confused character.
A confused character, like the nurse lady from the preseason webisodes that
sure.
What's his face directed.
Now
your hero.
That's
Nick
Nolte.
No.
Nick.
No, who's the zombie master?
Greg Nicotero.
Greg Nicotero. Jesus Christ.
The interesting thing about that is we saw that evolution, right? We've seen it from the beginning. I mean, the very beginning with Ed. We know what kind of woman she is at that point.
There's a lot of stew in there to make an interesting, dramatically. Again, it's like people's like, "Oh, Aaron, you're rooting for some more bad shit." I'm just saying that would be a dramatically interesting thing.
It would be, and the reason it wasn't with Lizzie is because we never saw any of the reason why she was insane.
Right, but I can.
And with Carol, we see it from A to B, from the A train to the B train. We see it all.
Yeah, and you know, there's two arguments to be made that if Rick has to take her back, it kind of erodes a little bit of his decision-making ability. But if he doesn't take her back, he kind of comes up as a hypocrite because he just tore a man's throat out and gutted him like a fish. I mean, the one was necessary. Him gutting like a fish was not. That was
not
him
necessary.
Enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
Arguably worse than someone mercy killing, trying to save, you know, Carol's only crime, as far as I'm concerned, is she did not work within the legal establishment of her chosen society.
Yes.
What she did,
the council was not informed,
is ethically and morally up for debate. It's not. I'm not going to say it's all right or all wrong. I kind of lean down to
and even
maybe,
Tyrese, the one most affected by this at the end, he understands.
Right. So that's the thing. I think, and I wish they'd talked about that. That like, you know, Rick's like, look, I'm not judging what you did, and I'm not judging you.
Sure, that would be a good point to make.
But I can't trust you because we had what little laws we have left.
As Daryl would say, they were stupid.
Yeah, right.
But
there
at
was
least
a code.
they were
We
something.
had a code. We had a prison council. You were on the fucking council.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what would you do if some random jackass just stepped forward and decided he was going to kill the people? I mean, you can't have that.
Sure.
So, I don't know.
Any other emails or
no, we're done.
That's it?
We're just talking, man.
All right. Well, we've been talking
after hours.
We've been talking for 2 hours, and I think that's probably good until the recap episode, the season recap. Because I have a lot to say on this season as a whole.
Yeah, me too.
And we can just save that for next week. So people who are interested, join us on probably Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep.
Until then, I'm Jim.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.